everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. We're on to the divisional round now, 2 steps away from playing on the...
Okay, Larry, first opened in 2006. Here's a look inside University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game as we've got a great one in store between the Atlanta Falcons and the Arizona Cardinals. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule as he's taken down right at the 20-yard line. So here come the Falcons now. To get the football for the first time. And leading him out, their veteran quarterback. They come out here in the eye. And they'll run it here. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
It should go without saying that anytime you run the football well and gain a nice chunk of yardage, that means the offensive line did their job and did it really well. But let's give them a little more credit than that. Because all week long, offensive line meetings, they're going over adjustments, counters, when line shifts, all those things that go along with it. And yet, you still have to be physical. And that's what they did on the first play.
So we've got a 2nd and 5. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
That coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And now here's a carry heading left. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. So 2nd and 9, the defense looking to put them in a bad spot here. Now a handoff here to his running back. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to him back.
An extra DB added here for the Cards on 3rd.
Blitzer play coverage.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Call it a 4-yard pickup, but it leaves him a few inches short here on 4th down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First-level defensive line, second-level linebackers, third-level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first-level run, and it was stopped by a second-level player.
And look here, it's an opening drive fake. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, a great read and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, surprise, surprise, partner. No, we know it's not a surprise. When you try to complete a pass against this Cardinals defense, there's a reason that they are known as the no-fly zone.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
2nd and 1 is offered an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive linemen said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Here we go now.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Room here to run. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
That's a football play right there. That takes me back a little bit. Toss sweep to the right, get it to your back, get a lot of people out in front, control the line of scrimmage, wide receivers blocking downfield. It almost feels like half the crowd is in front of him, getting it down to the secondary. They have a tough time getting him down. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target. That's a big league run. Takes him down inside the 5-yard line, and momentum definitely on the side of the guys on offense. And if you're an offensive lineman, you love to run the football, especially out in the field where there's some space. But I will let you in on a little bit of a secret. Those guys like it in tight, too, because they get matched up, and they get to show just how stout they are in a tough situation.
And he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great effort there. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Cardinals have taken the early lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better. Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
They'll come out in the pistol.
Here we go. Green.
A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's caught inside the 25. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 45 yards. Well, last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good. They usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
Batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. Drive of the first quarter, you get it down there, try to fire it in the end zone, and big-time deflation on that.
Getting into position, and this is not the ending that they saw on this drive, is it? They had things going there.
Down. And he just throws this one away. That was a bit strange, and here comes the flag.
Intentional grounding offense.
So an intentional grounding 10 yards.
Yeah, last resort for the quarterback. He couldn't get outside of the tackle box, so he could legally intentionally ground the football. Had to just launch it and take the penalty.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll be a third and about 13. And they thought they could exploit this defense with some really quick hitters, quick action. They worked on that in practice. We just saw it there.
And we saw them break it down to the fundamentals as well. Each position group had their own little work on it. You know, they worked on a drill here with the receivers, a drill there with the quarterbacks. Then they brought it all together, and now it's paying off in the game.
Throwing left side, it's complete. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line.
All right, partner, keep adding up the yardage. My man is off to a big-time start in this one.
Oh, yeah, you know, when these guys get a first-quarter run like that, they're thinking, all right, now I'm going to get a second, third, and fourth-quarter run like that, correct?
Have you ever seen a guy have a run like that and feel good about himself and then tap out and want to come out of the game? No, he wants the ball some more, doesn't he?
Yeah. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Now let's go. Blue line.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 4 yards on the pickup there, as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game. And I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
Hurry up, here we go.
The wide receiver moving to a new spot.
39.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. He loses 5 full yards to bring up 4th.
One of the toughest things for an offensive lineman to learn is the ability to get in space and hit people.
Possession of the football. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And a tough ask here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 9.
Now let's go. Blue line. Blue line. Leopard.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And a quick throw here. That's complete. The Cardinals unable to convert there on 4th down. And the Falcons defense stands tall. They'll get the football back. Well, you feel the excitement build on those 4th down plays. Defense has to stay out there, but for the offense, when that thing doesn't work, such disappointment.
It can absolutely be a deflator, but how about the defensive guys? If they stop you on 4th down, they are absolutely elevated going to their bench.
They're elevated now. Big stop on 4th down. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged, because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the first. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
This will be caught at the 2. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2.
And when an offense is doing a nice job selling the play-action pass, a lot of responsibility shifts to the linebackers. They're the ones that have to determine run or pass and get to the proper places on the field.
Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early.
False start, offense.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Detroit!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Their dangerous wide receiver from 6 yards away. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now here's the Falcons defense getting set to go again. And an important stop in a tight game their last time.
Always important to stop him, we know that. But as you noted, in a tight game, so much more critical to get it done, and that's exactly what they did.
And they'll be trying to do that once more here. We'll see who wins the battle.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
All right, here we go.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Trying to set up the screen, and it's, look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So out now come the Cardinals. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Leopard, hurry up, Leopard. 319. 319. No, check. Patriots, let's go.
After the pick six, they go right back. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Falcons grab it. And they will set up shop, red zone territory at the 13-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, is going to be hot routes if they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback. They've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
They'll try and start this drive in the air, looking for someone to throw to. Look at the time. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
How many times when we see an incomplete pass, we just look at the receiver and say, should have caught that one. That was a drop, and we just put it on the offense. How about a little credit for the defense there? They just forced an incompletion.
Yeah, especially after starting in a tough spot defensively, but a good start there on first down.
That gave them a little extra confidence there, starting, as you said, in a tough spot and being able to make a play on first down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Only a yard in the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. They'll drop the throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
They come up in an offset eye. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes a...
And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. A great play there. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Falcons will add on to their lead.
Well, Brandon, he just followed his nose, and his nose took him to the end zone. But how about the big guys up front, giving him at least a stalemate in order to find that space?
Yeah, the O-line won the battle in the trenches there, didn't it? This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
You know, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete. So a 2nd down incompletion now brings up 3rd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. Touchdown, Cardinals. Their big-bodied receiver, 75 yards. And the Cardinals have cut it to within a score. Good pass, clean catch, and a house call there on the fly route.
And not that much room to operate. So that tells you about his acceleration. We always talk about being able to go from 0 to 60 real fast. took him less time than that to get to top speed and complete that play.
So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it winds up in a touchdown for Arizona. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here's the Cardinals defense as they head out to set up shop. They struggled that last drive. They were kind of hit 2 ways, both with the run and the pass.
And I love how you brought hit into it because a lot of defense coordinators like to show a little cut-up film the night before a game. They usually have some boxing in there, and it always shows the guy being the aggressor, the guy on his toes punching, not back on his heels taking punches, and that's where this defense was on the last possession.
They were on their heels. Will they be on their heels again? Let's see.
I think we need to come up with a different name for this position. We keep calling it the fullback position. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback, but we know this. Whoever's coming out of that spot is usually bigger and stronger, and they may not run away from people, but they'll run through them.
Yeah, able to shed tacklers. We saw it right there. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
A gain of 6 there on first.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
4 yards remaining now on second down. It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Back to throw now on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field, it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Green 39! Green 39!
And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Here we go now.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he fires one incomplete. Let's see what the defense dials up here. 3rd and 4.
Now let's go.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he comes back with one complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll look to throw here on first down. Quick hitter here. It's complete. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. 5 yards left for the offense. It's second down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And they're going to speed things up here. They'll look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Now let's go.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Their dangerous wide receiver in the final seconds of the first half. And the Cardinals are just an extra point away from tying this game.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
And just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. And we will likely not see another play here as they take the knee and head into the intermission all tied. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we send you on to Orlando, we hook back up with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports halftime report.
Thanks, guys. We'll get back to you soon for the second half of this tied ball game. But first, let's look back now at this first half of play. Right now, we've got a tie game, and that just means exciting football for us in the second half, as we'll have 2 teams playing 2 quarters to decide a winner. Here we go. Let's do this. Here's your first half highlights. Offense out now following the interception. They'll go to the ground and pound here, and he'll take this 4 yards for the score. They strike first in the half. Falcons with possession halfway through one.
And Larry apparently very brief in his report. Thanks anyway, my man, as we're already set for action. This fielded at the 2. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Falcons defense gearing up as they take the field. They've had a couple passing touchdowns against them in this game, and that last drive they really got picked apart.
They've got to figure out how to tighten things up because no matter what they've done, whatever adjustments they've made, offense has been a step ahead of them. So they've got to figure it out. Usually, a sack of the quarterback can help change the momentum.
Maybe bring some pressure.
I think maybe a little bit of pressure would help them greatly. For those who watch the game and want to question the courage of the guys who play on the corner, how about when you see a toss sweep coming your way, yet you still go into the backfield, get past the blockers, and make the tackle? That's big league.
Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves them with 14 yards still to go on third down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Third down now following the run. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Out of the gun now on third down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Third down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
It's taken to the 26. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Falcon football as they take possession. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Gotta wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Finding time. All kinds of time. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Wide open receiver complete. Give him 30 yards there. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of, what, a turkey bowl, a Thanksgiving day. You know, when we get together this year, when the Davises and the Gaudens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like they're drawing them up in the dirt, and so far it's working for both of them.
A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Quick pass play there on the slant, Charles. Works out well for the offense.
The offense loves it. The defender hates it. Hard to get through the body of the receiver to get to the football trying to cover a slant.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Again, we'll see the pistol here.
Let's go! Blue Lightning! Blue Lightning!
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Hey, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
He's got time. And did he get the feet down? No. They'll say he did not. It's incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And his kick here is good. And that will break our tie and give them a 3-point lead. So they don't get a touchdown here in this opening drive of the third quarter, but I think you still say mission accomplished as they come away from it with the lead.
Absolutely. You've got to apply the pressure here, make the other guys play catch-up for a while, and now you just hope your defense can step up and protect the lead.
And heading back out there now, the Falcons defense here. They got the stop last time that resulted in a punt, and then it resulted in 3 for their offense.
And this is one time where the defense won't get credit for creating points, but that's exactly what they did.
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a defensive player.
There he goes, left side. The 20. Touchdown, Cardinals. A big play there. Saving his best for the playoffs with his... touchdown of the game. And the Cardinals have retaken the lead. And that will make this a 4-point game. Hardly any time taken off the clock there. 2 plays, and they find the end zone for 6 points. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down.
Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Shreds him with a stiff arm. And he's able to get this one up to the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
And that's why defense coordinators always preach 11 guys to the ball. Because sometimes you have a missed tackle, but if you have a swarm of guys around, less room for them to roam even after the first missed tackle. In this case, tackle was missed, plenty of open field to get after that.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Well, they're certainly running the ball pretty well on this drive, and all I remember as a secondary guy was if you're making a lot of tackles in a game, that's usually not good for your defense. You've got to figure out how to keep things in front of you because you know there's 3 levels, defensive line, linebackers, and into the secondary. And if the 3rd level is leading your team in tackles, as a general rule, things aren't going so well for your defense. Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed. And that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
I think the training and practice broke down on that play because he simply didn't run the route deep enough to get to the 1st down marker, despite what was a really nice catch and toe tap on the sideline.
Yeah, that's 3rd down 101. You got to go to the marker, know where it is. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and the drive will wind up yielding 3. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
So we're back to a 1-point game now as the kickoff comes. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Now this will go for 5 up to the 33.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And he motions the wide receiver. Now they'll run it on the toss. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
Offense staying ahead of the chains here, 2nd and 3. They come up in an offset eye. Now they'll run it on the toss. Trying to get out wide, but he's going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, are usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they will just roam and hit. On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
Back now here on EA Sports. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a 1-point difference here as we begin the 4th quarter of play. And the wideout in motion. Now they'll run it on the toss. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third.
Partner, the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker has so many different responsibilities. How excited do you think he was to get home with that blitz?
Yeah, he wants a sack. He got it. 9th play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile.
Here we go now.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Cardinals defense now, they make their way back out there. And even though that last drive yielded points, it was a long field goal, so they probably weren't too upset about it. Although here, obviously, they'd like to give up 0.
Of course, that's the goal each and every time out. But when they make that type of a field goal that long, you almost give a little nod of respect to the kicker, like, congratulations. But you do feel pretty good about not giving up anything big.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can not give up anything big on this drive. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
Really good, skillful, tough running throughout this contest. Picked up first down after first down. He's got to have a nickname, doesn't he? How about the human first down machine? I think that fits.
And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Surveying the field. He's going to take another shot here. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jason Verrett. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
You're looking there, the defensive back was maybe a step slower than he was when he came into the league a decade ago. I know I questioned his speed coming into the game, but what he's lost in speed, he's more than made up for it with intellect. And that's a great job of knowing how to position himself to make that interception.
Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. 14 yards that time for number 14.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Give them 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn them a fresh set of downs.
When a coaching staff sees their team run the ball this successfully in the fourth quarter, they're really excited because you can plan for a running game all you want and want to press that advantage when you get it. But for the most part, it's a little bit of a surprise. And right now, they've got to keep that going, want to continue to grind out the clock because it's definitely in their favor at this stage of the game. Can they close the game out and continue to do exactly what we just saw there, and that's run the football?
That one good for 10 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Now a first carry for their fullback. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs.
On 3rd and 1, it seems natural to just turn and hand it to the biggest guy you have in the backfield. But usually, he's not the primary runner. So for the defense, they're often keying on the running back because he's the guy who gets the ball more often, and the fullback is the blocker. When he ends up carrying the football, that's a heck of a tendency breaker, and now you're just trying to jump on his back and hold on.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
And some room to work. And now the rookie's free. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cardinals will extend their lead. Not only touchdown number 2 for him, but a big run to boot. However, still trailing.
Still trailing, but not because of his efforts. Boy, he's playing really well, and I love his long speed there, right? Able to get out there and burst all the way to the end zone, and smart enough to keep the ball in his hands and get into the end zone for the touchdown. In 2016, on all levels of football, we're seeing guys drop it before the goal line. What's the rule, Brandon? Run into the goalpost.
That's right.
Before you drop the ball. There you go.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of...
He's got a man, complete. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45.
Holding offense.
So holding by the offense, and maybe now got to shift up what you want to do on the playbook.
Yeah, definitely. Change what you're doing in the playbook, but boy, the advantage shifts to the guys on defense, doesn't it? Longer yardage situations, they often become bolder.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He's got time in the pocket. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. That one goes for 24 yards.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now a play fake here on first down. Finding time. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. It's a gain of 24 that time. And it'll be first down Atlanta.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. They go play action here on first down. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Looking to throw. He's got time. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper, 25 yards for the touchdown. And now the Falcons are within a 2-point conversion of tying up the game. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
They'll try and throw for it. And he's got it. The conversion good, and we are tied in the fourth. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted the tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs.
60. Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun, and he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
I know anytime you watch a team run the ball really well, there's a pinball effect, people bouncing off of each other. There's also some things of beauty in there when you see these nice, explosive, strong runs. And this guy, he knows how to carry the football really well and continually wants the football. Why? He knows the offensive line's going to give him great effort, and he gives great effort himself to finish off runs. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On the give, this is their fullback. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Let's face it, you always want a team full of guys who can get you first downs and big plays of all styles, but you got to have a big man. You can just turn and hand it to, and he can be dependable in picking up first downs.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. And the offense behind the chains here, a touch on 2nd and 11.
All right, now look at 56.
They come out here in the eye. And now a carry here for their fullback. And the Falcons going to use another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9.
Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. All right, so the timeout over, and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. And now then, it's a big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th. But, Charles, there is still time left for a final drive.
Brandon, you know they would have liked to take the clock down just a little bit further, at least under a minute or so. But this was not over yet, especially since they just need a field goal.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. So 2nd and medium, 2nd and 5 now. Back to throw. Backing up. He's going to let it fly. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
He's back to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds.
I know where we're headed on this. Terrific catch, gets his feet down, sets up a 4th down and short situation. But I bet we're wondering, why didn't he get to the first down marker running his route? Am I correct?
You got to know where the marker is, right?
Got to figure it out. I know every receiver is taught that. Sometimes circumstances change it. At least they have an opportunity to make a decision with not much yardage to go.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. It'll be a pickup of 12 yards. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down. And the offense moving quickly to the line. And the spike will come with 34 seconds to go. Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. They'll look to throw. Surveying the field. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Back to throw. And it's complete. Hooper. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early.
False start, offense.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. He'll look to throw. He's got time under pressure. He's going to go down. Look at this, way back around the 43. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there, getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it, because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Cardinals as we say so long from Glendale.